Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sewell21, and thank you for joining me on part 2 of our Stadium Creator Showdown. We got a lot of really cool stadiums coming up to show you, but first we need to wrap up things in part 1 and see who the viewers voted for in the Western and Great Lakes Division, so let's head on over there and take a look. Starting off in the Western Division, we had Puget Sound Field, Bessie Mountain Field, Joyland Park, and the Alamo Grounds. It started off as a really tight race, but in the end, the Alamo Grounds ran away with it, so congratulations, Texas Ag 75, you are moving on to the Final Four. Over in the Great Lakes Division, we had Saints Field, Fruit Ridge Farms, Initech Field, and Mud Dauber Field. Initech and Mud Dauber were really battling it out all the way to the end, but finally, Jedi Yank pulled away with Initech Field, and he'll be moving on to the Final Four as well. One last thing before we get back to the showcase, I did set up a Discord server for us. The name's really simple, it's just Sewell21. So stop on by if you want to hang out, talk baseball, or show off your stadiums that you're working on. I am also starting my Twitch channel back up again. I'm Sewell21 on there as well. So go ahead and get over there and give me a follow if you want to come build a stadium live with me and just hang out with the chat. Let's get back to the stadiums for now though, so let's head over to the East Coast Division. Our first minor league stadium in the East Coast Division comes to us in Troy, New York from MTA Bus Driver. This stadium has a very unique look to it, and it's also right on brand with other parks that we've seen from MTA. Built in 1923, this stadium features a lot of rooftop seating on those row houses and a lot of other outside the ballpark seating from balconies. With an altitude of 5233, you'll be sure to crush the ball into some very cool areas. This park is very short down the foul lines, but very deep in the corners and center field, and almost has a Polo Grounds feel or shape to it. He did a really great job capturing that Old Town New York vibe too. Like I mentioned before, a lot of very cool ways to catch this game from rooftops and balconies, but he's also got some more traditional bleachers lining the outfield as well. The right corner is super deep, and I can imagine poking a ball out there would send outfielders running for days and lead to a lot of triples, if not inside the park home runs. Behind home plate is very cool looking with all the pillars holding up the stands. This park looks great at night, and it looks like it has a really fun atmosphere when games are going on. I like the more modern buildings in the background as it makes it feel as though the city has grown around it, but preserved the traditional feel of the stadium. This is definitely one of the more uniquely shaped fields in this competition, which makes sense because I don't think I've ever seen MTA use any of the default outfield wall sets. Great job MTA, and thank you for your entry. Next up, we have a park in Fredericksburg, Virginia, located in a small, cozy neighborhood. This is Rappahannock Grounds by Glenn Fittich 12. This is a more traditional looking minor league park, and I love how it sits in the middle of a neighborhood. If I had a minor league park in my hometown growing up, I would have been bugging my parents to go to every single game. Luckily, the Minnesota Twins played not too far away, and the tickets were usually pretty cheap since not too many people attended in the 90s. But back to the stadium, or actually starting outside the stadium, he's built a great exterior with some added vendors and possibly ticket booths outside the park. He also did a really nice job on the neighborhood that lies just beyond the outfield walls. In left, I love the custom brick facade with the scoreboards, and the advertising is a really nice touch. The right field bleachers look very clean, but my favorite part is the lettering done vertically on the light poles. That's a really cool idea. Here we can get a couple good looks of this park at night. I really love the cozy feel of this stadium and the clean build that it turned out to be. The features and scenery outside of the stadium are also very well done and very nice additions. Great job on this one, Glenn, and I hope we see more from you in the future. Next to the East Coast Division is another park that just had USA as its location, so it's just filling in a spot on the East Coast. This is a brand new user by the name of PC Williams 37, and he's brought us SoundCloud Park. This is another entry that is an entire sports complex and it has both a basketball arena and football stadium across the street. Right away, I love the view of the skyline from behind home plate, and it really feels like it's in the middle of a downtown area. I would love to live in one of those apartments in the outfield too. Left field has a nice open plaza and a hill for catching the game on for a more traditional minor league and spring training feel. Behind the batter's eye is a great place for kids to hang out, and I like how we gave the playground some grass and included a few picnic benches for parents to sit at. Right field is party central with clubhouse seats, a pool and hot tub, and a party deck with some vendors right beneath it. There's also a restaurant in the foul corner. Let's flip the lights on and take a peek at this place at night. It's lit up very well and has a lot of great views from wherever you're sitting. This is definitely a fun park to try and crank some home runs with lefty hitters, as there are a lot of fun targets just beyond the outfield walls. This park also has a great look to it, and you could change the location to just about any big city and use it for Road to the Show or Diamond Dynasty. Awesome job on this stadium, PC Williams, and let me know if you have any more parks that you might want showcased in stadiums that inspire. Alright guys, we're down to our last park for the East Coast Division, and it's coming from someone most of you guys are probably familiar with. This is Whi R Field from Peebs 212344, or better known as Phil from Studio 44 with Phil Sherman. If you're not familiar with Phil's channel, you should definitely check it out right after this. He also showcases stadiums and has a bunch of cool projects going on, like the Ricky Davis League and his Stadium of the Year 23 contest. He's also got a new series coming up that he's really excited about, but that's all he let me know about it. Over and left, we get a bunch of different sections of bleachers and a cool shaped section of seating coming off that warehouse. Center field has a very vertical look to it and has a few different levels. The top level will take you across the concourse to the other side, and there's a ton of room for standing room only fans to catch the game from. Over and right, we have even more levels to watch the action from, and even some seats inside the outfield wall. That would be a great place to catch the game from on a hot summer day. In the corner, we have a few playgrounds for kids to hang out at, and even a batting cage. This park has some very interesting features, and I love the unique shape of the sunken concourse. The walls are also very different, as we usually see the higher monster style walls in the corners, but here they are on both sides next to the center field wall. This park also looks like a fun place for a home run derby, as there are many levels to try and reach and a few targets to try and hit. Another great park by Phil, and again, if you haven't checked out his channel, be sure to do that after this episode. Once again, it's Studio 44 with Phil Sherman. Alright guys, those are our contestants for the East Coast Division. We have Dead End Grounds, Rappahannock Grounds, SoundCloud Park, and Whi R Field. Voting is live now on the community page, and it's just like last time. It will go on for 1 week exactly. The next week we'll have one more episode where we're going to showcase all the division winners, and then one more round of voting to crown the first ever winner of the Stadium Creator Showdown. Now with that in mind, let's head on over to the Southern Division to see who's competing down there. The Southern Division is filled with creators that have all been featured on this channel before, so this one is probably going to be another close division race. We're going to kick things off with someone who's known for really great old school style parks. This is Baycare Park by Archmage Chemish. Behind home plate, we get that tropical Florida feel with the palm trees in the distance, and I think that might be the first time I've ever seen radio antennas used so close to the batter's eye. The left corner looks really cool with that custom building and team store, and a really nice section of bleachers wrapping around the foul pole. We get a couple good looking restaurants and even some custom ball pens below the picnic plaza that use some props that I haven't seen used in ball pens before. Of course, we have the hills in the outfield to sit on and watch the game, but it looks like he ran out of memory before he could place some of the fans there. I think we can all agree, more memory would be a welcomed addition. Behind home is far from standard. He's got some great looking additions and custom sections, along with seating in front of the press box. Let's take a peek with the lights on, and the view from the upper level is really nice. This park reminds me a lot of a spring training game I went back at Disney's Wide World of Sports when I was a teenager in the early 2000s. He did a really great job on capturing that Florida feel, and it makes me wonder if this is some sort of a recreation of a real ballpark. Knowing Archmage, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is. Fantastic job, Arch, and a strong way to kick off the Southern Division. Our next park comes to us from another creator we've seen many times on this channel. We're headed to North Carolina to check out Freedom Park NC by SanMandan. We've seen a lot of great creations from SanMandan on this channel before, so I'm excited to get into this one. Right away, we get another fantastic view from behind home plate. This park definitely has more of a big budget AAA feel to it, and I know the Charlotte Knights in real life tend to draw some pretty big crowds to their games, as they boast as having the best view in minor league baseball. I like the use of this building having the ramp that leads down to the concourse. In left, we see a scoreboard built into the base of the tall home run fence, and that sits below a couple of sections of bleachers with a nearby vendor selling classic ballpark food. What would a minor league stadium be without a hill in the outfield to sit on? This one has a huge area, and this also includes some advertising and a small video ribbon in right. In foul territory, we get a lot of great dining options, and I love the grass areas to break up what could have easily turned into another concrete jungle. Time to check out some night shots, and no surprise here, it's lit up very well, especially with how those light towers are positioned so well and have 360 lighting on them to light the concourse up too. Another great park and a strong start to the Southern Division, but with all the great creators in this competition, I'd expect nothing less. Let's throw in one quick reminder to vote in the community section after this video is over. I'll have a link in the video description as well. Alright, we're headed down to Huntsville, Alabama at Redstone Ridge by another familiar creator named BoTiger. This stadium might look small at first glance, but he's included a lot of really nice features that we'll take a look at. If you guys are familiar with the Stadiums That Inspire series, you'll remember Brickside Gardens from BoTiger, which I believe is still in the running on Phil's channel for Stadium of the Year. I really like the right field area complete with bleachers, vendors, playgrounds, and even bathrooms. I also really like the strikeout meter on the wall too. Over in left, we get a big video board, and we get some custom bullpens that are covered to keep the pitchers cool as they warm up to enter the game. As we flip the lights on, we can see that there is not a bad seat in this park or any obstructed views. This is another great clean build by BoTiger and has more of a AA affiliate feel to it. Great job again, BoTiger, and keep the good work coming. Our final entry for the Southern Division comes to us from someone who's pretty new to the channel, but their stadiums are a welcomed addition. This is Lakeside Park by WiseGuy67 and is coming to us from Jupiter, Florida. It doesn't take long to get that Florida feel from this park. I can just imagine how many retired old folks live in those waterfront buildings just across the street from the stadium, and this park also just slid under the 20,000 fan limit we had. On top of the concourse, we get a couple nice restaurants and a few smaller vendors. Over in the outfield grass, we get a variety of targets to aim for, including bleachers, vendors, a gas pump, and a giant glove from the Giants Stadium. On the other side, a real bomb that avoids the palm trees could do some real damage if you hit one of those cars in the parking lot. The right corner concourse has some more vendors and a team shop that is on this side as well. Time to check out how a night game looks, and even the backdrop is very lit up. This park looks like it fell victim to the very limited memory that we have, otherwise we would have seen a lot more fans on that outfield hill. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a change we'll ever see made due to the online play and the possibility of it causing longer loading times. Overall, this is a very nice looking ballpark and another great build from WiseGuy. Let's wrap this thing up with a couple more shots, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at how the Southern Division is going to break down for the competition. Alright guys, so there you have it for the Southern Division. We have Freedom Park, Redstone Ridge, Baycare Park, and Lakeside Park. Once again, go onto the community page in the link down below. Get in your votes, and over the next week, we'll see who's going to pull out the Southern and East Coast divisions. And before we head out for the day, I just want to say one more time, thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel and checking out the Stadium Creator Showdown contest, and a special thank you to everyone who entered into the contest. One more reminder that we do have a Discord page open. It's called Sewell21, and I am streaming again on Twitch, also at Sewell21. Thank you guys again so much for stopping by. Take care, and I hope to see you in the finale.